feel so relieved right now, aside from the fact that we made love, and this is the first time again for a long time that I don't have a nightmare. I sleep well. That is why my head does not ache anymore. It seems that the burning of the red car works. I went downstairs and greeted everybody with a good morning. I prepare breakfast for everybody. I cook bacon and eggs. I put the bacon and eggs one by one on their plates. I made coffee with a 1 teaspoon of coffee, 1 tablespoon of milk and sugar. I don't want to make coffee in a coffee maker if it is my own coffee because I want to make it old fashioned way because for me it makes the coffee naturally delicious. It is just my opinion. I don't know about others, and I sat between Jan and the girls facing my parents. I look at them and smile at them. With the energy that I have, I can say that I am ready for today. You look so happy now, Mom asked me, seeing me stretching and in a good mood. It seems like I am ready for the day. Because I slept good last night after me and Echo made love and we decided to invite Brother Ben here. I answered and took a sip of my coffee cup even though it is hot. John looked at me and said, "Whatever you plan to him, Helena, please don't do it. Brother Ben is a good man. Please accept him," he said when he heard about our plan for inviting Brother Ben. I looked at him and assured him that I would just invite Brother Ben for Belinda. Nothing else. Of course, I am not crazy to hurt him because he is my nanny Silva's friend. Nanny loves him as a friend, so I love him too. And besides, we are both God's angels, so I would not hurt him. Why did? Why don't you just eat your bacon and egg? I asked him. And don't mind me here talking to my parents. I added and smiled at him, and he didn't reply. He's coming to see us here, Shirley said, and she sounded excited. Yeah, but you can still live here, I told her and rolled my eyes to dull her excitement. Why don't you let us go now, Helena? Irene asked. Yes, let us go now, Jean said. I looked at them and there's no chance, honey. I told them that makes them frown. Of course, I will not let them go because they are my responsibilities now. God trusted me to watch over them, and as His angel, it is my duty and responsibility to obey Him. After an hour of talking to them, finally Echo was aware now and greeted me good morning, and he kissed me on my cheek. Let's go, let's pick up Brother Ben, he said. I looked at him and said, Why don't you eat your breakfast first? I cooked bacon and egg for you, and I can make you coffee if you want. I said. He looked at the table and sat beside me without second thought. He started eating. I stood up and made him coffee in a red coffee maker. This time I will use the coffee maker to make the coffee special for Echo, and I sat beside him and gave him the coffee with love that I made for him. Thank you, he said with a charming smile. I watched him eating the breakfast that I made, and I think he likes it. His eyes, his smile never gets old. He's handsome as ever, and I love him more today than yesterday. Please don't hurt Brother Ben. Out of nowhere, John said it again. I looked straight at him and I saw his eyes change direction as he suddenly got shy because of what he said. Of course, John, I will not hurt him. I told him with the assurance for him to shut up because I am nearly peace and he doesn't. I will remove his head from his body and let it roll outside like a dice in a board game. I am just kidding. I will not do that. I am not morbid. Echo is finishing his breakfast, and once he's done, we'll go to the chapel to pick Brother Ben up. I'm not sure if he's there, but I can sense it. I am wearing a dress and sneaker, while Echo is wearing black shirt and black jeans. Let's go now, he said while finishing the coffee that I made for him and put the cup on the table. Okay, take care, Mom said, looking at us. Please don't hurt Brother Ben, Jen said for the last time. But he still can't look at me before we leave. We left the house to pick up Brother Ben. We went to the chapel. I parked my car under the mango tree, which 5 steps away from the chapel's entrance. I will wait for you here, Echo told me. I looked at him and nodded. I kissed him as a good luck, and he kissed me back. I hope there's no hindrance this time. He will wait inside the car that I parked under the mango tree, near the chapel's entrance. He can see what will happen inside the chapel from inside the car. I saw Brother Ron talking to the woman, and I heard Carmen is her name. A slim and a wavy-haired woman, wearing a dress and a circular black-framed eyeglasses. I didn't interrupt or even show myself. I wait for them to finish talking, and when they are done talking, I let Carmen leave first before I showed myself and went to Brother Ben to the chapel so quiet and clean because there's no worship. It means that there is no disturbance, hindrance, stopper, or whatever you will call it, because it is only me and him now inside the chapel. Oh, Helena, he surprisingly said because he didn't expect that he was going to see me. You know what happened to the girl who embarrassed you at the grocery store? He asked, and I didn't answer because I didn't know. She was comatose now. A girl named Gail hit her head on the ground, and that made her unconscious, and her name is Rachel. I think same age as you, he added, but I am not interested. I looked at him and said directly, Can I invite you to my house? And I held his hand, which made him uncomfortable in an instant. Come on, let's go, I said and tried to pull him, but he refused, trying to let his hand go. I have a lot of things to do, he lied, because he feels awkward now. I looked at him again and said, Liar, I'm sorry. He wanted me to say it again for him to confirm if he heard right. I mean, you can do that later, I answered with a smile, trying to cover what I told him a while ago. But I really have a lot of things to do, Helena, he said. Maybe some other time, he added, while still trying to let go of his hand. But the more he tries to refuse, the more I want to drag him home. What's the problem? Today is the right time. No brother Mike, and no other people, only just me and him. Helena, please, he begged. Helena, let go of me, he added, and he scared now. I am making me scared now, even though it is not my intention. I look at him straight to his eyes, which makes him more scared of me now. What is the problem? I ask. His jaw dropped and he takes a brief breath, but look at me and he lets go of his hand. What is the problem? I asked again, still looking at him, while he felt uneasy and he couldn't look at me. This time in a high tone of voice because I am losing patience now, while walking slowly near to him, and he is slowly walking backwards away from me. He didn't answer, and he cannot even look at me. I know he is scared now. I can see his veins, and I can hear his heartbeat pumping double and fast. I feel like he will have a heart attack, but he needs to go with me. I need to bring him home. The more he refused, the more eagerness grew to bring him home. What's the problem, Helena? He asked in a scared voice, but I didn't answer because I know he will not believe me if I tell him now. Helena, please not now, he said. Still don't want to go with me. Jen and the girls and Brother Mike were home, I said while looking at him. His jaw dropped again and his eyes grew wide. What? He asked because he couldn't believe that what he heard, and I was about to repeat him to convince him to go with me, but Echo hit him on his head, enough to make him sleep. I looked at Echo because I didn't know that he was going to hit Brother Ben in the head. I'm sorry, he loved us no choice, he said and added, I understand because I would do the same if ever him. We carried Brother Ben to the car. We needed hurry before someone saw us and we hurriedly got inside. I turned on the engine and we were about to go when Carmen suddenly stood in front of us with her hands on her waist and looking at us. She is standing, blocking the car. Get out of the way, I shouted at her, but she didn't move. I saw what you did, she said like a breath. Put Brother Ben down, you are kidnapping him, he added. I looked at the icon. I looked back at Carmen, wearing her thick eyeglasses and an old-fashioned dress. Poor Carmen wants to rescue Brethren. I don't know what you are talking about, I said, trying to be calm. Don't lie, I saw you. Put him down, or else I will call the police, she said, trying to scare me with the police bell. Her hands are still on her face. She's like a breath child that looks 50 and would scream anytime. If I didn't do what she said, I'm losing my patience now. I got out of the car and looked straight to her. I will run over with this car if you don't move, I said, trying to scare her. She walks near the car with her hand still on her waist like an old maiden now and looks into the car and her eyes wide open, and she covers her mouth in a shock when she sees Brother Finn unconscious inside the car. I told you he's inside the car. Let him out now, she commanded, her voice show an authority, and she tries to open the car door. That pisses me off because my my time is waiting. I rolled my eyes and grabbed her head and smashed it on my car door twice until she lose consciousness. I put her into the car beside Brother Ben. Good. I have two unconscious people inside my car now. I pick her eyeglasses and wear it to her as if nothing has happened and bring her home like Brother Ben. I don't even want to bring her home, but she leaves us no choice.